Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me Vinod. I hope you had a wonderful day and you're settled down to watch the video in the evening. It is Friday. We have had a trying week to say the least. The markets have been going here and there. We thought there was kind of a relief rally in the middle, but that didn't prove out to be so much. The stocks which we have been considering for quite a long time, if we look at those stocks, they are all still in the red and they'll continue to be in the red for some time. So those of you who are wondering when is it going to turn around, I would say, why are you asking that? You should be asking how long will this opportunity last? Because this is an opportunity to consider those stocks we have always thought of buying, but there is some caution to keep in mind. And again, I want to reiterate like in yesterday's video when I was talking about IT ETF, I thought I'd talk specifically about IT because there's more and more clouds of uncertainties surrounding the IT sector, and what's going to be happening in the short term and in the long term is something I wanted to discuss. So let me get into that. Before I get into it, the reason why I said is a lot of you are asking me. Infi is down 15% from its all-time high. TCS is down 20% from its all-time high. Wipro, of course, is the only one which is up almost 10% from the lows, while Tata Tech is down 37% and even Mahindra is down 15%. So a lot of you are wondering, is it an opportunity to look at these stocks? The reason I'll say no, and why me and Anand have been changing our position and saying no. A few months back, we were even looking at it and considering it. Now we're saying don't. But the simple reason is this whole IT industry is under a cloud of uncertainty, which we as investors should be careful of because we do not know where this uncertainty is going to land. Because we are small investors, we are retail investors, we have a little capital which we invest in the market, and we do want this capital to work for us at its best, especially when we want to look at a horizon of 10-15 years. The IT industry in India is valued around $283 billion, and it has the following problems coming to its lens. One is Trump with all his H1B and H4 visa and all this talk which is going on, and media has been talking about it. And because the way he acts, the way he suddenly wakes up one day and he signs things and then there is pressure on him and he rescinds some of it, like what you see happening with the trade war. The same is true with the whole H1B and H4 and all those visa statuses of especially Indians sitting there, and the green card queue in the US right now for some certain groups is 100 plus years. So taking all that into consideration, that uncertainty hangs because most of the Indians who are working there in the US are working in the IT sector. The next is Europe. What is happening in Europe? Thanks to the strained relationship between Europe and US, thanks to Trump, has brought Europe's situation more into light economically and also security-wise with what's happening with Russia and what's happening in Ukraine, and US abandoning its allies, time and trusted allies. It's rather strange for everyone seeing the world order changing the way it's changing. Is it permanent? I do not know. So that uncertainty is hanging also in the IT sector. The most one which is most critical, which is the trade war. The trade war which is happening is leading to a lot of inflation, and the Fed cut which was expected is not happening. So you may be wondering, what has all this got to do with the IT sector, Vinod? Well, the problem is the biggest clients for the IT companies, TCS, Infi, HCL, Wipro, and Tech Mahindra, which contributes around 30% of the IT industry in India, which is around $78 billion. Their biggest client is insurance and banking. The American banking, the world banking, and insurance contribute around 32% of the net business of TCS, 27% for Infi, 20% for HCL, 34% for Wipro, and 16% for Tech. So when inflation happens and there is a slowdown in the American economy and there's pressure in Europe, bankers tend to pull back their investments and renewal of contracts in IT sector. This is true for insurance also. And this slowdown will have a ripple effect on contracts and renewals for IT companies, which has a roll-on effect to us here for our IT companies in India. What is happening between the Indian rupee and the dollar also doesn't help. The currency fluctuation is not helping our IT industry either. If it's always going towards the negative, of course, every few rupees you make, of course, multiplies into the millions of billions of dollars and turns into extra revenue. That is not the case. Sometimes it's at 88, then it went to 86, thanks to corrective measures taken by the RBI. And this kind of currency fluctuations also affects the bottom line. Now, these are all short-term problems, right? We can argue this and say, Vinod, there's nothing to worry about all this. Trump, of course, will say it like this, like that. Within a year or two, all that will get sorted out. As far as Europe is concerned, eventually Russia and Europe will come to terms and that will get sorted out. And the trade war will also come to an end once all these countries come to a realization that we all need to get along and find ways and means to cooperate with each other. Inflation will finally come under control, and the Fed will, of course, reverse its interest rates. And you're right. All what you said is true. Those are all temporal, and that will all not come to pass on a 10-year spectrum. If you see, it will all die down. Where the other problem which lies, which is real threat to IT industry in India, is AI and generative AI, especially when this comes into full force into the general population. The reason why it will come into full force into general population is that's where we are heading. With the AI war happening between China and US, more and more AI is being unleashed upon us, and we are given more and more access because people are trying to corner the market and trying to get a foothold and trying to enter the market before the next AI wave comes and destroys them. So you can see it happening with all the AI platforms available in the US. The Chinese are launching a lot of AIs and they are offering free access to it. All this will put IT services and all the IT things we are offering, these companies are offering, into a lot of pressure. How will it bring pressure? Well, the clients of these IT companies will start using more and more generative AI. So the cost will, what we're charging, will take a deflationary spiral. That means the services which are offering at a cost, we'll have to rethink these costs, is what they'll say. There'll be price pressure, and what IT services we're offering at a certain pricing point will be under pressure. So these so-called giants, behemoth IT companies in India will face pressure from generative AI. They'll have to learn to adapt. Like Sir Chandrasekhar said, they will have to find ways and means to adapt and grow some Indian-grown, homegrown AI. Till that happens, we do not know. But all AI is not bad news. Who is it not bad news for? It is not bad news for newcomers to the IT industry. The new upcomers, the upstarts in the industry, they will benefit from AI because their capital expenses will be much lower. They'll be much higher in the learning curve compared to these IT giants, which have much older population, older management. Decision making is much slower and it moves at a snail's pace. While a new company which is more agile, which has young entrepreneurs who are more open and accepting of new technology, history has always proven this, that they will grow and latch on faster till they start aging and becoming older. So all this is mixing and turning and churning in the IT sector as a whole. So here I've told you what is happening in the short term and what is going to happen in the long term. So there is the huge cloud which is happening. Of course, these IT companies will find means and ways to recover and get through it. The question lies is what will be their growth and their potential capital gain for us as investors, because that is where we are looking at it from. We're not looking at it in terms of employment. We're not looking at it in terms of career growth. We're looking at it in terms of, as an investor, when you invest in this, what will be my capital appreciation? That is where your focus should be on. When you keep that as focus, then a lot of questions remain unanswered. That is why Anand and me and all of us in our team are saying, wait and watch. We'll wait for some time. Let's wait for some clarity and get some understanding from these companies individually. What do they plan to tackle about short-term problems? How do they plan to tackle these long-term problems as far as AI is concerned? What do they plan to do? And once we get that kind of clarity and we have a confidence, then we can look at valuations at point of time and then invest. I know initially when you look at these kind of corrections, when I said 15% down in fee, 20% down TCS, Wipro up 11%, but Tata Tech down by 37% and Tech Mahindra down 15%. It does make you wonder, should you be diving into this? Yes, I understand that feeling, but I would say be cautious if you are thinking about venturing, because of course there might be many members in our audience who are working in these companies, who are more probably cued into the IT sector, who may have different opinions. I would love to hear them. I'm there on Instagram. You can come and catch me and I'd love to have a conversation and hear your side of your arguments. Or in the comments down below on the video, you can definitely drop in your comments. Rupesh will send them across to me and I'll have a look at it and let you know what I think further on this. Nothing else more to say. Let me know if you found this information useful or entertaining at least. It's been a long week. Next week is going to have some further pain probably. Maybe there'll be some dead cat bounces again. Because even though Trump seems to give some reprieves in this trade war which he's running with Canada and Mexico and the rest of the world, it just seems to be heating up because there's a whole slew of tariffs coming for other countries as he promised in the 2nd of April. He said he didn't want to put it on the 1st where people thought it was a joke and may misunderstand him. So he said he'll release it on the 2nd of April and that's just a few weeks away. And as we prepare for this, there's going to be a lot of disturbance and confusion in the markets as it goes on further. So keep that in mind. We will see opportunities. And when you see those opportunities, do think of investing. What did I invest in today? I bought some Natco and I bought some Tejas, is what I was looking at today. I'm curious to know what you guys were looking at today. If you feel like sharing, please share with me. I'd like to know what was on your list of different coffee range investing. Always be safe, enjoy your weekend. See you again on Monday with something more to talk about. Thank you for watching the video today. Bye.